Welcome to Barbarous Bulletin, the podcast where we bring you the latest news and updates from around the world. We have a packed show for you, with stories that will inform, educate, and maybe even spark some interesting discussions. Let's dive right into our first story. A Pentagon investigation has faulted U.S. Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth for sharing sensitive information about planned strikes in Yemen using the Signal app. According to reports, Hegseth shared details of an imminent military operation with a group of top national security officials, which accidentally included the editor-in-chief of The Atlantic magazine, Jeffrey Goldberg. The investigation found that the information shared by Hegseth could have put U.S. service members and the mission itself at risk if the chat had been intercepted. However, it's worth noting that Hegseth has maintained that he did not share any classified information and that he is allowed to declassify information as he sees fit. The incident has raised concerns about the handling of sensitive information and the potential risks of using personal communication apps for official business. Some have criticized Hegseth's actions, saying that they were reckless and potentially put lives at risk. Others have defended him, arguing that he has the authority to declassify information and that the investigation is politically motivated. As we consider this story, it's essential to remember that the handling of sensitive information is a critical aspect of national security. It's also important to recognize that the use of personal communication apps can pose risks, especially when it comes to official business. We'll continue to follow this story and provide updates as more information becomes available. In the meantime, we want to hear from you. What do you think about Hegseth's actions? Do you believe he was reckless, or do you think he has the authority to declassify information as he sees fit? Share your thoughts with us on social media using the hashtag #BarbarousBulletin. We'll be right back with more of today's top news on Barbarous Bulletin. Welcome back to Barbarous Bulletin. Today, we're diving into a complex and intriguing story about the Middle East. A recent article in Foreign Affairs has shed light on the region's ongoing struggles with governance, institutional decay, and environmental degradation. The piece highlights the resilience of the Islamic Republic of Iran, despite its domestic failures, and the challenges it poses to the United States and Israel. The article suggests that military intervention is now a key instrument of counter-proliferation in Iran, and that Washington must be prepared to respond with attacks if necessary. However, this approach raises questions about the long-term consequences of such actions and the potential for further destabilization in the region. It's also worth noting that the Israeli-Palestinian conflict remains unresolved, with the recent ceasefire between Israel and Hamas being fragile at best. The expansion of Israeli settlements and the disarmament of Hamas are just a few of the many issues that need to be addressed in order to achieve a lasting peace. As we consider the complexities of the Middle East, it's essential to approach the topic with nuance and balance. While there are no easy solutions, it's clear that the region requires careful diplomacy, strategic engagement, and a deep understanding of its history and cultural context. The United States has a significant role to play in promoting stability and security in the Middle East, but it must do so in a way that acknowledges the agency and autonomy of regional actors. By encouraging political participation, economic reform, and environmental sustainability, Washington can help create an environment conducive to peace and prosperity. However, as the article cautions, idealism and lofty ambitions are not always effective in a region marked by power struggles and realpolitik. A pragmatic approach that prioritizes realism and flexibility may be more suitable for navigating the complexities of the Middle East. Welcome back to Barbarous Bulletin. As we continue to navigate the complex landscape of American politics, one issue that has been gaining significant attention is redistricting. The process of redrawing congressional lines has become a highly contentious and partisan affair, with many states taking steps to reshape their maps ahead of the 2026 midterms. In Florida, for example, lawmakers are moving forward with an unusually aggressive mid-decade redistricting push, despite the fact that the state's constitution prohibits drawing district lines with the intent to favor or disfavor a political party. This has raised concerns among voting rights advocates, who argue that such efforts could undermine the integrity of the electoral process. Meanwhile, other states like Indiana and Virginia are also taking steps to redraw their maps. In Indiana, a proposed map could net Republicans 2 seats, while in Virginia, Democrats are exploring the possibility of an aggressive map that could result in a 4-seat gain for their party. As we consider these developments, it's essential to remember that redistricting is not just a partisan issue but also a matter of fairness and representation. The Supreme Court is expected to weigh in on the matter soon, potentially providing clarity on the limits of partisan gerrymandering. To better understand the implications of these changes, let's take a closer look at some key states. In Texas, Republicans passed a new map that could net the party up to 5 seats. However, California Democrats responded with new district lines approved by voters last month that could cancel out any Republican gains in Texas. It's also worth noting that efforts to redraw maps have stalled or failed in several other states, highlighting the complexities and challenges of this process. As we move forward, it's crucial to prioritize transparency, fairness, and the principles of democratic representation. That's all for today's Barbara's Bulletin. Remember to like, share, and subscribe. And until next time, stay engaged.